Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We need to go pick up a new spring plow, or spring for my plow, as in the last snowstorm it snapped off. I don't have it on right now, as you can see, but in the last snowstorm, for whatever reason, the right wing got stuck up, and it would stop returning to the plow. And so when we were snow plowing, the left wing would control just fine, the right wing was stuck all the way up. And you know, I thought it was kind of weird in my head. I was thinking, what would cause this? How come if the hydraulics, I can still hear them running, there's no hydraulic fluid leaking, what could be the issue? And instead of me getting out like you think I would to go check on it and probably be able to figure out pretty quick, I just kept plowing with it straight. And it worked well enough, you know, I was able to just put it into a V, whatever, make it work. But I started getting frustrated with it, so instead, again, of getting out of the truck and going to check on it, guys, what did I do? I put that wing down against the snow pile and just drove forward to force it back towards the truck. And it worked. I mean, just slowly came back, and then I started using it, and all of a sudden it just started working. And the wing would just go forward and backwards, and so I had no clue what happened until I started reversing back, and in my mirror, which if I turn the truck on here, the inside of the 2500 high country, we got a lot of stuff in the back, but the mirror, as you can see, is a digital mirror, so it doesn't matter what angle you have, it's just a digital mirror. I was reversing and I saw a black tube laying across where I just plowed. I got out, I went to go look at it, and what did I find? This, of course. So the one side of the spring is okay, but the other side had snapped off right here, and it was wedged in the wing of the plow. And so when I was trying to put the wing back towards the truck, this was acting to hold up the wing so that it wouldn't return. And when I went up against the snow pile to push it back, that is where I got this spring bent, and then it popped out. So probably wasn't my best idea ever. I'm gonna count myself lucky that that spring didn't come through the windshield or shoot into the truck and damage the paint or dent the truck at all. But regardless, we need to go get a new plow now, or a new, not a new plow, that'd be expensive. A new spring for the plow and put that in. Because right now it does work, it does come back, but only when the plow is up, really, because gravity kind of pulls it back. But other than that, it kind of is slow. It doesn't react like the other one does. I don't know why the spring broke in the first place. I was gonna ask boss about it when we go there today to go get a new spring, but it seems like maybe it's a little too tight when I hit the controller, which I have tucked under my seat when I don't have the plow on. When I hit the controller to bring back both wings at the same time, it just whips the wings back. I mean, they come by so fast, and it ends up kind of shaking the whole truck and stuff. And so I don't know if they need to be, the springs need to be quite that tight, and maybe being that tight is why it failed in the first place. So I know that was a lot of explanation, but we are going to take off. We'll go to the Boss store right now and go pick up a new spring, and I'll show you, or I'll let you guys know how much that cost us. So let's go. All right, so I just stopped here at Burt's, and as you can see, it was 51.17, so $50. But look at this, guys. Picked the wrong day to wear my white shoes, I guess. It is so warm here. It's January in Grand Forks, and it is wet as can be. It's 45 degrees today with the sun, but here you can see the difference. So let's head over to the storage unit, and we'll get that put on. It'll be my first time and you'll follow along with me. Also have some cutting edges possibly for the Avant snowblower, but that'll be a separate video. So let's enjoy this warm weather and go replace the spring. All right, so we're here. Can't keep a truck clean with how much standing water there is, how warm it is. It is really warm this winter. We have no snow, which you guys can probably tell by the lack of plowing videos this year. All right, I get my key out of here. All right, we got the Avant. It's plugged in. Doesn't need to be. It's plenty warm out. But this is the spring that we need to replace, and this one feels pretty taut in the resting position, so I don't know if it would be best to hook up to the plow. It's got to go from here to this hole. As you can see, it's starting to wear even a little bit, but I don't know. I have an impact driver that I can take to this nut, but I don't know if it's gonna be deep enough to fit that. It's not a deep socket. So unfortunately, to hook my truck up to the plow requires me to hook up to the trailer, but I have to disconnect from that because this is so heavy that when it's on the back of my truck, the front of the truck is too high to go into these, the mount. But unfortunately, I think it might be required. That way we can also test the speed too, because I can show you what it's like with this spring. It comes back really fast, and without it, obviously, it's a lot slower with just gravity. So I could show you that, and then we can put the spring on, we can test it. I might loosen this up just a little bit because these springs are plenty tight, I would say. It looks like this one's plenty on, but I would say the springs are on plenty, so I might even try loosening those up, and we'll see how that goes, if that makes it better or what. So I'll put you guys on a time lapse. I'll hook the truck up to the trailer, get that out of here, hook the truck up to the plow, and then I'll catch up with you guys. So I'll put you on a time lapse. All right, so I just got the Avant taken off, and as you can see, this spring seems to be a little bit looser now that the plow is up like this, so this might be how I work on it. So we'll go ahead and get something to zip that nut off, but take a look at all these fibers that are coming off of here. I'll tell you what, these get pretty annoying in the middle of winter when all of these fill up with ice and you're driving down the road and the ice is flapping up. It gets a little scary when you take a few ice chunks off the windshield, so I might have to cut those off today. All right, boy, this is buried. You would never, well, that's because it's not there. All right, it's in my truck. It's not that buried. I was about to say, you'd never know there's an impact wrench there, but there isn't one. So if we go to the back of my truck, here it is. It's going to be one of these. That's way too big, but it's going to be one of these sizes. So I'm going to try and get that figured out, and then we'll zip that nut off. All right, I almost forgot. I do have the impact wrench out, and I will get to that in a second, just over there. But I do want to set you guys up real quick, and I'll show you the drop speed difference. So this actually turns into a tripod. So I'll set you guys up, and I'll go get in the truck, and I'll do some tests. I'll show you how much slower this side drops than this side without the spring. So hopefully you guys can see this wing is it's much smoother without the spring, honestly. You don't have the control, and so that's why we're going to be replacing it today. But that left side really gets jittery. Another side note, last year, actually, yeah, it was last year, but with this plow, the weld way in there, kind of by that cylinder, the whole push frame had snapped, and however it happened, didn't hit anything hard, it just snapped under normal use, I guess. I had my other plow on my F250. I had it for 3 years and had no issues. I had this one for 3 weeks and the push frame snapped, and they did end up replacing it under warranty, but they didn't really want to. But on this plow, I got this bracket pushed up right here into my truck, and as you can see, there is a little bit of touch-up paint there. So I got pushed in there, and then also on this side, it got pushed into my bumper right there, and a little bit right there. For whatever reason, that was frustrating, but let's go ahead and get that nut off. All right, I'll set you guys there. Hopefully you can see. This can just barely reach, actually. That's not gonna reach at all when I have the socket on. As you can see, I have two very different wrenches that I keep in my storage unit. I have a very large wrench and a very small wrench. Hopefully we can back this off just enough so we can fit the socket on. Let's go ahead and zip this off. Guess we're going by hand. All right, this has to work now. I grabbed the wrong size. That would be why it didn't fit. All right, this might work a little better. And there we have it. So let's go back here and grab the new spring. It looks identical to me, both sides look to be the same. So just like that, the one side's in. Let's go ahead and hook this side. And then we don't have too much. We don't have too many threads showing, but we should have enough to get this on. And then I'll set you guys back up. As you can probably see, I don't have too much showing for threads on this side, but I think this side has probably double or 2.5 times as many showing, and it seems to be a little bit rough. So I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with this. I'll set you guys up again, and we'll check to see just what the spring return rate, I guess, looks like. So again, this side is about half of what this side is showing for the spring tension. So I'll go ahead and turn the truck on and we'll test this out. So I don't know if you guys could see in that video, but this side actually seemed to be just as much to drop just as quickly as this side. And then it occurred to me, you know, it's probably because springs don't really care too much on how stretched they are. As long as they're stretched, they're the same size spring, the same coil, the same spring tension, I guess. And so both sides should drop the same until this becomes loose like this. But obviously we don't want this shaking around. It'll wear out the holes and stuff. So probably is going to be no different no matter what we do. So we'll probably just go ahead and tighten those back up to the same, and we'll just have a brand new spring. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Of course, got to keep using my little wrench because I can't get the impact driver there. Once it gets a little bit further on like this. One thing I didn't think about, I was just amazed at how well this little tiny wrench worked. But one thing I didn't think about was how much harder it would be to tighten it, considering we have a fully loaded spring on it now. Also, my metal wetting band on a metal wrench doesn't feel the best. As you can see here, I'm starting to turn the big wrench because I can't use the small wrench anymore. All right. It's not exactly to where it was before. I think that little bit of rusted piece of the bolt, the eye bolt, was not showing before, but I'm gonna call it good. As you can see, it's a little bit about in line with my knuckle. And if I line up that, so there's just a little bit more on this side. So I'm gonna call it good. That spring is tight. That spring is tight, and like I said, the spring tension shouldn't really matter now that I think of it. So that was pretty easy, simple fix, $51. You can use all the way down to this little tiny wrench, and this is a huge Chinese wrench that I got with a Chinese wheel loader. So simple fix, guys. Thank you for joining me today on the journey. Like I said, I had to take off my parka because it is warm out today. But one last thing before we go. I grabbed I ordered some virgin UHMW, which is polyethylene plastic that a lot of people have started to use as a cutting edge. This is half inch UHMW, and this is 3/8 inch. And I will show you what we're looking for, because as you guys may know, I bought this Avant 528 wheel loader, and it has been working very well. It is an excellent machine. As you guys can see, the cab is just so luxurious. It's so nice. I will be doing a full in-depth review on this We got the fancy block heater that's just a plug, like this. So that's super nice. It's a very nice unit, but for some reason we have been having issues with the cutting edge on the machine, and I don't know why exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll set you guys up right back here. I'll set you up over here so you're not looking into the sun. So I'll go ahead and lift this. Turn the machine on and lift the snowblower up so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So as you guys can see, it looks like there used to be a cutting edge here, and we don't have it. And I know for a fact there was a cutting edge. So we were plowing, and I got out because of plowing it, the cutting edge, which I could see from behind. When I was in the machine, I looked underneath. I could see the cutting edge was hanging, kind of crooked. Got out, and this was the only bolt in the machine. You can see the paint is kind of scratched, because the cutting edge had been rounding or moving around this one pivot point, and all these 4 bolts were gone. So I went and got all new bolts, put the cutting edge back on, and my dad was using the machine, and he said it started to seem kind of tough. These knobs or these teeth to eat into snow were hitting the ground, and we couldn't figure out why until I took a look at it, and our cutting edge was completely gone. All 5 bolts have sheared. We've found 3 of the 5 bolts, but we have not found the cutting edge yet. Where a cutting edge like that just fell off and went to, I have no idea. So henceforth, we have some virgin UHMW that we may make into a cutting edge, as you can see here. So, not exactly sure how this will work yet, how much. We got it just a little bit long. It's about 2 inches long, like you can see. So we'll be using that as a new cutting edge, at least until we can find all the snow melts, which might be in February with the looks of it. But we'll be using this until we can find the metal or the steel cutting edge. And honestly, if it ends up working better, we might just roll with it. This is 3/8. The only concern I have with 3/8 that it'll be too thin, that it'll wear away too quickly. Obviously this is going to be a little bit more flexible than steel, so that's a big advantage when you have such a brute of a snowblower on a mini wheel loader. You know, you can put so much downforce on the machine that it kind of gets to a point of too much force on the cutting edge, which I believe is why the bolts sheared off. So this is 1/2 inch, but I think 1/2 inch is going to be too thick, as it might get too close to the cutting edge where the bolts have to go and stuff. So I think, even though I like the looks of the 1/2 inch, and though I think the 1/2 inch would be quite a bit stronger and last longer, I think it'll just be too thick. So we're probably going to go with the 3/8. But this was really cheap. If you want to get some, you can go to buyplastic.com. I believe both of these were like 25 a piece. It was only 50 bucks to get a brand new set of them. So that is going to be the next project, guys. I'll film all of that too and take you along with me if you guys would like that. But thanks for joining me today. Put a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys have ever broken this plow. If you have, let me know what caused it and where'd you find it. Did it shoot off into your truck, or did it just drop down? Also, how did you notice? Was it the wing just slow, or was it like me where the spring got propped up in between this bracket and here, or here somewhere, and kept the wing from going up and from you snow plowing? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments down below. But I believe that's all I have for you guys today. we have some other things that we can make videos on. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of cleaning to do, as you can see as well. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, as I said, leave a thumbs up, leave some comments down below, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.